Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Chairbear HD, and today we have week 5 of the IPA. We are unfortunately coming off our first loss, where Walrein sorely disappointed us in not being able to defeat the Dugong, and then unfortunately the rest of the team was not able to pick up the slack, so I definitely think that we can come back from this, but it was disappointing to take our first loss for sure. But this week we are facing Clefairys and the Los Angeles Clefairys, and definitely every team in the IPA is threatening and every person can beat us any given time, so like with everyone else, I definitely want to win and I think I have the team to do so. The matchup here is our team is the same as it's always been so far, being the Walrein, Excadrill, Mega Altaria, Mienshao, Latios, Crobat, Volcarona, Ditto, Rotom, and Mega Tyranitar. Clefairys' team is Buzzwole, Blacephalon, Rotom Watch, Mega Gardevoir, Kangaskhan, Lycanroc Duck, Sneasel, Steelix, and Goodra. I believe we have faced before in a different league. However, it's been quite a while, so I would say at least familiarity is not a huge thing going into this match, as it is with a lot of people in the IPA, since I have been in the IPA for a while, but this is Clefairys' first season in the Magear division, so not that familiar, it's not quite there, which, that doesn't really favor either one of us. And then, first impressions of the team, Blacephalon is once again facing us because Tristan traded Blacephalon to Clefairys. So, well, it's not the biggest threat to us, I think, overall, just because, like last time we had Mega Tyranitar. I don't think Mega Tyranitar has the same matchup as it did against Tristan's team, so that definitely could become a threat. Mega Gardevoir is a huge threat because Excadrill and Crobat and Volcarona are my resist to Fairy, so that does present a problem, being that obviously Psychic typing hits Crobat. Excadrill, while it can resist both the dual stabs, Gardevoir does get Focus Blast and does outspeed, so that can be problematic. And then Volcarona is very especially bulky, but physically, for Psyshock, it's not. So I think that Mega Gardevoir can definitely take advantage of my team. Being a double dragon team, fairies do present me problems. And, well, my team is very fast. Trick Room is something that could be brought against me. However, there's a caveat, at least with this team matchup, is that actually his team's pretty fast too. So, Mega Gardevoir is the only thing that gets Trick Room, so it does have to be a bulkier set to do so, which, inside Trick Room, yeah, it's gonna blow me back. Outside Trick Room, not really, so while it's something that he could bring, I'm not quite sure if it will come or not, because it doesn't really get that much support from the rest of the team. And overall, I think that this is a matchup where, while Excadrill I think would be really nice because of Buzzwole being really the only thing that wants to take any hits from Excadrill, I think that Sand is not worth the bring in this case, for the fact that just Mega Tyranitar is not great in this matchup, and I think Mega Altaria can be a lot better, so while I have the option to bring both, I don't really want to in this case, which leads us to the Mega Altaria set being especially offensive with Hyper Voice, Fire Blast, Earthquake, and Roost, being a more or less max HP, with a little bit of Spadef set, and the speed allows us to outspeed Buzzwole at max speed, and I opted for special because Hyper Voice plus Fire Blast hits everything really hard, and Buzzwole gets hit harder on the special side, as well as Steelix, with the only thing that really doesn't is the Goodra, but Goodra doesn't really want to take the Hyper Voice, and because I'm bulkier, it can then take a hit from the Goodra most likely, and potentially 2-hit KO, especially if it's a bulkier set, and if it's not a bulkier set, then while it will do a ton of damage to me, I think I should be able to live a hit while it might not. Or at least it'll be just extremely weakened. And this is, Earthquake is purely for the Blacephalon, because it does resist both the Hyper Voice and Fire Blast, but it is very frail, so it does enough damage despite the minus attack nature to have a good chance to OHKO. So I think that this Mega Altaria can just be a nice pivot for Rotom Wash. It can help me with deal with Lycanroc as an possible immediate switch in, and it can also help with a Choice Locked Blacephalon as well as a Choice Locked Buzzwole. So I think this will be very nice to have. Next up, oh man, I'm so disappointed that I'm bringing this, but Blacephalon and Sneasel can be issues to my team, because like Ghost Spam is good against me since my normal type is Ditto, and my Ice Resist Extraordinaire, because I built the team to try to make Walrein be good, is Walrein. So I am thick fat, so I like 8 times resist ice, and I do resist fire despite it being neutral to the ice water typing, so it is a solid switch into both of those mons. Otherwise it's just, bulky mon that can throw off Surfs and Toxics. I'm Rest Talk because it doesn't get any other really recovery, so I figure that if I see the opportunity, that'll be nice. Ice Beam would have been cool to pack on, but when looking at what I would Ice Beam, the only thing I really would Ice Beam is the Goodra, and I would rather just Toxic it in all honesty, and same with Rotom Wash instead of having maybe a coverage move that hits harder than Surf, so I figured Surf just hits everything else decently enough. Then next up we have Colberberry Latios. Colberberry could be for potentially the Lycanroc Dusk, which I do Speed Tie, and that's why I'm max speed, or the Sneasel, so I live a Pursuit, because it could use Ice Move, could use Dark Move, but it will allow me to for sure keep this around and survive, and then switch into my appropriate mon being the Walrein, where Draco, Psychic, and Shadow Ball hits everything super effectively. That I could see as being solid switch-ins, being the Goodra, because Assault Vest does lift such hits, and then like Gardevoir, especially hitting out with Shadow Ball as well as Blacephalon, and then Psychic would hit the Buzzwole pretty hard. And Rotom Wash doesn't resist any of those. Well, really the only thing that resists the dual stab is the Steelix, and so I don't really care that it's not especially bulky anyway, so it's whatever, and Sneasel's faster, so it doesn't really matter about me having great coverage for it. Was like, worst case I could Draco it if I expect it to come in or something. But next up we have Choice Scarfed Excadrill, being able to outspeed up to Rotom Wash Scarfed, and Mold Breaker allows me to Earthquake the Rotom Wash, and looking at the team there's no flying type, so I can spam Earthquake with the only thing really that wants to take that Earthquake being Buzzwole. And so in all honesty, this thing is the way I expect to win. It destroys the team if we're really looking at it. Blacephalon, OHKO'd by Earthquake. Rotom Wash, OHKO'd if not close to OHKO'd with Earthquake. Gardevoir, OHKO'd with Iron Head. Kangaskhan, 2-hit KO'd by Earthquake or Iron Head. Lycanroc Dusk, O-Code with either Earthquake or Iron Head, Sneasel, O-Code with Iron Head, no matter what, Earthquake if it's not Eviolite, Sneasel gets 2-hit KO'd, or I mean Steelix gets 2-hit KO'd by Earthquake, and Goodra should get 2-hit KO'd by Earthquake, and most likely Iron Head as well. So this literally, if I get some chip damage on stuff, this wins. Like, this just straight up wins. And so I definitely wanted to have it be Scarf, because then I don't have to deal with things potentially outspeeding me, and especially that Mega Gardevoir, because it can be a threat. And also the Sneasel forcing it to Ice Shard me instead of being able to maybe low kick, which I know this is actually not that heavy, so actually I guess not low kick, more knockoff. But yeah, I think this should win me the game, if I'm going to win, of course. Then next up we have Mienshao with the Expert Belt, High Jump Kick, Poison Jab, Hidden Power Flying, U-Turn. I'm going Reckless because I'm running High Jump Kick, so I can just get that extra damage. It's obviously Hidden Power Flying for Buzzwole. I'm not covering, I don't have knockoff for Blacephalon because it's faster than me anyway, so don't really care. I'm outspeeding up to Gardevoir, and with the Expert Belt, Poison Jab should do, you know, if it's offensive with Gardevoir, it's gonna OHKO it. Buzzwole, that's not Assault Vest, should get dunked on by Hidden Power Flying with the Expert Belt, and just in general, this will, you know, hopefully be able to just kick something really hard. Then, last up we have the Volcarona, which, while it does have Quiver Dance, is not a sweeping set. You know, it could sweep maybe, but it's mainly to help open up the game for Excadrill. And I say that because the main thing that needs to get weakened, in all likelihood, is Goodra, and and then also this, you know, makes the Buzzwole, like, it can technically bait a potential Buzzwole, in that if he figures out that that I'm bulkier and he's faster than me, if he is faster, because I'm not running much speed, because I'm running enough speed at +1 to outspeed the team, barring Scarf, and then I have the Charty Berry, because the only thing I would be using is Stone Edge, and then obviously, in case I'm quivered up, Stone Edge, or I mean Excel Rock from Lycanroc Dusk would hurt. But I'm running basically max HP and a ton of defense with the Bold Nature, because also Timid Mega Gardevoir cannot 2-hit KO this with Psyshock, and I expect this to really be my only legitimate switch in to Mega Gardevoir. So I have the Roost, so I can have the longevity. If he's running Psyshock, it won't 2-hit KO me, and that's the, you know, it's in addition to it, you know, maybe it could sweep, but it's gonna weaken things if it gets up to +1, and I see myself being able to sack this off and not worry about it staying around. So that is the team. I will be back with team preview. And we are back with team preview as Kersey has decided to bring the Mega Gardevoir, Lycanroc Duck, Buzzwole, Rotom Wash, Sneasel, and Goodra. So when I see this team, I want to just get a hit off with Mienshao, because it outspeeds the Mega Gardevoir. It does not get O-Code by anything that's faster than it, barring maybe a Scarf, you know, Buzzwole being able to do enough damage, like probably a superpower, but that would be fine with me. But and I would prefer, obviously, if he led maybe with like a Rotom or a Goodra, so I could just get a High Jump Kick off, as he did not bring the Blacephalon, so I'm free to do so. And so I will lead off with this Mienshao, as he leads off with Buzzwole. And I'm thinking here, I know it's kind of obvious that I'm going to switch, and I switch into Volcarona. He does miss a Stone Edge, and you know, I'll have to talk about that obviously, but I choose to switch out to Volcarona because he could go for Ice Punch if he's, you know, just expecting me to switch. Ice Punch would OHKO my Altaria before it's Mega'd. Stone Edge would do a ton to both, but you know, depending on my set, obviously. Like if I'm fully max defense, then it wouldn't, but he does have the Stone Edge. And that does miss, however I am charty, so it wouldn't kill. So I, you know, see him going for Stone Edge as I'm switching into this Volcarona. I decide, nope, not happening. I'm gonna go to actually Altaria because I'm expecting him to actually fear me, but he goes for Stone Edge again, so I know he's Scarfed. That, you know, that you don't make that play if you're not Scarfed. So now I can go to my Excadrill, as then, you know, I'm expecting to force him out, go back into Altaria so I can potentially Mega and Roost on something, but he actually goes for Stone Edge again. He catches me here, which really sucks, because looking at this matchup, I think Mega Altaria would have been amazing, but, you know, realistically, I have Excadrill in. I don't know what he would necessarily switch into, because since I know he's Scarfed based off of how he's playing it, you know, his best switch in is this. So maybe he thinks I don't really have anything to do any damage to it, is my expectation, so he's just going to keep clicking Stone Edge to just keep chipping me down, to maybe get me into range of like Ice Shard. So seeing that he's not seeming to want to switch out, I'm going to Air Release this, as it does 64%, and so he misses another Stone Edge, which, you know, again sucks because it did like 12% on the first time for him. So now I'm expecting him to switch so I can go into my Mienshao, as I can get a nice high jump kick off. He's gonna burn me, so it's, you know, makes this less useful, but this isn't the most important mon on my team, to be honest, especially with the Buzzwole being Scarfed. So I can just keep clicking high jump kick as he actually reveals to protect, so a nice prep on his part to make me take half my health. Since I'm not Regenerator, I'm not getting that back, but I'm just going to honestly just keep clicking high jump kick because I want to get damage off on anything, and it doesn't really do a whole lot to Buzzwole, but you know what, this is burn, so it's not that useful, so I want to see what he locks himself into, which he does go for the Drain Punch. So now I know I can just go into my Volcarona, as it is at full health because he missed that Stone Edge, and so he does crit me here, which, you know, does a ton because he's +1, as I actually Quiver Dance up, and I don't expect to be faster here, but since he crit me the last time to do that much damage, and it didn't even 2-hit KO, I can Roost up, but he actually gets burned with the Flame Body, which is amazing, and I'm not sure why he's still staying in, to be honest, after seeing that damage, but now I can just throw off the actually, I can just Quiver again to make sure I'm faster, and now I can throw off a strong Bug Buzz, which this reveals he is Assault Vest. As he goes for the Rock Slide, my Charty Berry goes off. You know, like I said earlier, I'm Fizz Def, so basically, so he's not going to do a whole lot, as he's just going to go for it again because he knows Bug Buzz won't do it, but now it's potentially in range of Earthquake, depending on its set, so I'm just going to go for the Earthquake to try to force him out, because I think if he doesn't have Goodra, then he's very susceptible to that Volcarona, so they can work, you know, Excadrill and it can work together. As he goes for the Stone Edge, it misses, but he's burned, so it wouldn't really do a whole lot of damage anyway. So I'm going to double back out into my Excadrill, expecting him to switch out. He doesn't, so I'm just going to go back, go for the Earthquake, because he can't do much damage to me anyway. And actually, at this point, I think he's almost out of Stone Edges, but it doesn't really matter. I can just start clicking Earthquake because nothing really wants to take Earthquakes. So, and this can't do damage to me. So, although he, you know, missing the Stone Edge on Volcarona in the first turn was really bad, it would not OHKO me. And regardless, all I needed it to do was get some damage on Goodra, which at this point, I'm not 100% sure if it will, Earthquake will kill, but the calc for max HP Goodra, it's like a 50-50 roll, actually, like for Earthquake to kill. So I am aware of that. If I don't have to risk it, great. If I do, so be it. He goes into the Gardevoir, knowing that I am Scarfed and Earthquake will, you know, not kill him most likely, so I can go straight into my Volcarona, as he actually goes for Trick Room. And so when I stay in to see what speed he is, and he's actually slower than me, which I'm, you know, running barely any speed, so I know that Walrein is going to outslow it, as I can go for Toxic. He's going to go for the Focus Blast, does 77%, but now I need to stall out Trick Room turns, so I am going to just rest up, as he might not expect that, and just attack again. And he indeed actually goes for the Trick Room to help him maybe be faster than me, but since I'm asleep, he's going for the Trick Room again as I sleep talk. Unfortunately, I got the Toxic instead of the Surf, so he does set that Trick Room again to now have more turns, but since he is Toxic, he's on a timer, and I'm not expecting him to be able to sweep me, because I do live any one hit from it, and since I've actually now burnt my 2 sleep turns, I can once again actually go for rest. So I'm actually just stalling out this Gardevoir with the Wall Rain and making sure that I don't lose to Trick Room, as he actually goes for the Hyper Voice, and it shows that it has, it might be a roll to kill, I'm not sure. And since he is, plus special attack, he's doing a ton of damage as he does hit this Focus Blast. And now it's a double down on this turn, but Trick Room is still up for one last turn. So I can go into the Latios as he goes into the Rotom. So he is faster than me under Trick Room, as he actually goes for Volt Switch, oddly enough, and I think he forgot that Trick Room was up, or was what he said in the chat or something, and so I just go for Shadow Ball because I just want chip damage on anything that comes in. Excadrill is my end game here. As he goes for the Crunch, gets the crit, doesn't really matter. Defense drop doesn't really matter as well, as I can then just go for Psychic on the next turn. As long as lived it, the crit didn't matter for me. And then he can just knock me out with the Ice Shard. I don't know what set he is, I don't know anything about it, but at this point, Earthquake is my only way to victory. As Ice Shard comes in, I don't think that's banned to damage. I'm not sure, but Earthquake does knock it out, so it definitely was not Eviolite. Earthquake, but like I said earlier, might be a roll. I don't know his spread fully, but he is, majorly specially defensive, but it does kill the Goodra. And now it's definitely going to kill the Rotom, so I do still win this, what I would call a crazy game, because it definitely threw me off in many ways that Cursey especially with the Buzzwole, just kept staying in when I didn't expect it. So I don't know if he was just in my head, or he was just like, hey, he doesn't really have great switch into Buzzwole, so if I can just keep attacking and he's just going to switch around, I'm just going to get that damage off on everything. But I will talk about, especially that, in reviewing this battle, clearly my idea that he was going to run Psyshock over Psychic didn't happen, and he still was able to do 50% to my Volcarona because he was plus special attack nature, and the Trick Room did come, which I wasn't really so sure about. But yes, so I guess I could have put the extra EVs that I maybe put into special attack into the special defense instead, thinking, about it now. And then, while the Stone Edge misses definitely sucked, I don't think they ultimately matter in the end, purely because I was Charty Berry when he did miss against Volcarona the first time. So yes, it would have gotten rid of Charty Berry. However, at that point, like the rest of the battle, especially the way it went, it wasn't really doing anything. So, it either way, once it got Rock Slid from Goodra, after that it was not going to do anything, because Goodra was just at too much health. So, and then obviously Lycanroc was still there. So, regardless, I think that while the Stone Edge miss, didn't help him, because then he didn't have as much information about my set. At the same time, I don't think it necessarily changed the outcome, because I think in all likelihood the end game kind of plays out the same, in that once Trick Room's gone, Excadrill just wins. I really, looking at what he brought, I did 2-hit KO everything on the team, if not O-Code, being that I O-Code 3 of the Mons with Earthquake, and I 2-hit KO'd 2 of the Mons with Earthquake, while also Iron Head being the move to Oko the Gardevoir, and Buzzwole was 2-hit KO'd by Aerial Ace, as you saw. So in the end, I think it was just inevitable that Excadrill was going to win, it just, I think he put up a great fight to put it off as much as he could. So luckily we escaped with this win, and we are now 4-1 going into the transfer window, so the team might look a little different next week. But we do have to face division for the second time in the next 3 weeks, so that is definitely, always exciting to see rematches, but also presents an interesting challenge. But we are in a solid position at 4-1. I believe we're plus 12 maybe, and that is putting us in a great position.